Hello and welcome to PlayStation Grenade. Fall Guys is currently taking over the world with its unique blend of battle royale and party play, but ultimately there can be only one. I've been playing since the early beta days and have a few tactics and tricks to help you win more games. Please drop a like if any of this helps you and leave any tips you have in the comments below. Here's a bunch of tricks, tips and tactics when playing Fall Guys. Let's start with the WHIRLYGIG, or the WHIRLYGIG if you know your history. There are three main ways to improve your game here. The first is right at the start of the course, and those pink rotating obstacles. At present, what do you do when you reach these? I presume you jump over them. What if I told you they could give you a speed boost which could take you so far away from the other players? To do this, be sure to run around the left side of the first circle and don't jump. You will be thrown forwards. The key to this is to be hit at the very end of the moving parts for maximum velocity. And don't worry about falling over the edge, there is an invisible barrier keeping you in the game zone. After a little practice, you'll be ahead in every round. The next point of note is really a beginner tip, but you'll be surprised how many people don't know how to climb the ledge here. It's as simple as jumping and holding grab, which is R2 on the PS4. I personally prefer the quick double jump, but if those platforms are full, try and pull yourself up instead. There's one other super helpful tip on the WHIRLYGIG in the final area. When you reach this section of the course, what do? Do you go left, right, or central? If you choose to take on the propeller, you'll likely be thrown to the right hand side of the course, which means most people you'll find are on the right. So if you want to avoid everyone, simply take the left track and there should only be a handful of people using these platforms. But let's get real, if you're a hardcore player and you want to go all the way and humiliate all the other players, you're going to try your luck and get through the propeller. Here's the best tactic. The best area of attack is this section here. There's a small gap where the propeller rotates, which gives us a slight advantage in two ways. Firstly, if we get hit at this point, we have a slightly improved chance of hitting the right pillar just here and falling into the next zone. But if you don't want to leave that to chance, what you can do is jump and dive. If you dive perfectly, your body will go under the propeller and you're in the next section. It's really that simple. And if for some reason you are hit, there is a huge chance you'll still make it to the other side. Check out this run to show you how understanding a few of these skills will see you win and qualify much quicker than your competitors. Which game shall we look at next? Oh, it's a final level, the fabulous Fall Mountain, in which we must grab the crown at the top of the run. I've been playing this since the early beta days, and over that extra time, I think I have perfected a path for you. It's essentially a left side push. Let me break it down and tell you why it's the right choice. First, the left side is technically shorter than the right. It's only by a few milliseconds, but still, in speed tests, it's quicker to go central and then veer off to the left. And for some reason, avoid this area. It can slow you down and I have no idea why. Next, here's the reason we don't take the center route. It's the worst place to take balls to the face. Don't get me wrong, it's still a winning strat, but through the middle, your chances of being hit are extremely high when compared to other routes. So for this reason, we are going left. The first part of the run is extremely simple, and in fact, the only issue you're going to find is when you hit these mallets here. The safest route is to go to the left of the mallets, as you cannot be hit there, but this takes a few extra steps, and therefore people will start catching you up. So for that reason, we're going to go straight through the middle of the two. Here's the tactic. Due to the orientation of the mallets, they will actually propel us forward if they hit us here. Can you see that? There's a strong chance of this happening, but it's not for certain. Next, we are deliberately running to the right of the final mallet. This is for the exact same reason, extra protection. If we run on the left, it will hit us away from the mountaintop, whereas by running to the right-hand side, if we are struck, there's a strong chance it will push us up the mountain, which is what we want. And then finally, it's all on you to make the jump and hold your nerve and hold on for dear life. I have calculated that I have won 66% of the finals I've played on Fall Mountain, so I think this is the best way to win. But I'm completely open to suggestions. Is there a better route to the top? Route. So what's the next game we're going to break down? Slime Climb it is. So this is the only real racing challenge game due to the pink lava rising. The tips and tactics on this stage are both at the foot of the climb, and when executed correctly will get you far enough ahead of the crowd to release the pressure of potentially being stuck with the rest of them. And it's actually super simple. We can cut out the first section of the course by simply bouncing on this triangular obstacle. Look how much we can skip and how far ahead we can be. But let's see the downside of this too. On some attempts, this can be a cluster truck. So many people will try this, and I've fallen a few times, I must admit. So knowing when to give up and just take the course on naturally is imperative. Lately, I've been trying to find another way out of this problem, and I simply wait. Watch this. I simply stand around and wait for the mayhem to calm down long enough for me to hit my jump and go back into the leading party. This jump requires space, and with more people using this technique every day, waiting for your turn could be the right thing to do. Another shortcut you can think about using is in the very next section, and is simply missing the final turn here and jumping up at this point. Hey, I said some of these tips weren't mind-blowing. The little hacks are quite important to giving you the edge. Anyway, here's both shortcuts back to back to show you the lead of the main group you can muster. I do think it's worth practicing these shortcuts. What do you think? Next stage, please. Oh, it's Fall Ball. Without a doubt, my favourite game in Fall Guys. And this is why. Headers. So the biggest tip of all is to get good at heading the ball as they spawn back in. The trick is to line yourself up with the back of the shadow when the ball spawns and jump straight up in the air. No need to run forwards, no need to dive anywhere. It's simple, it's just a well-timed jump. It's possible and increasingly likely you'll go up against someone who can header just as well as you, if not better, and these are the scariest matches of all. And the best tip I have here is to cancel them out, holding them down. It's terrible, I know, but if they are better than you, take them out and hope the rest of your team can play the game out without you. If you've got a friend though, coordination can change this game completely. Check out this example. My friend Spear held the opposition's best player and allowed me to header the ball in, and yeah, we turned the tide and we went on to win that match. Teamwork does make the dream work. But let's take this back a bit. If you're simply running after the football all the time, you are not helping your team to your fullest. It's time to pick a position. The two most important positions in this game are the goalkeeper, or maybe two goalkeepers if I'm honest, which doesn't get the respect it deserves, and the other position is to stand on the halfway line. Your job here is to stop any ball entering your half and helping out in defence when things go wrong. You'll likely actually be the main goal scorer too, as another one of your jobs is to hit the ball as it respawns. But don't feel pressured to score every time. Getting the ball in the other team's half is the best thing you can do. Master these roles and you will never lose another game of Fall Ball. Next game mode, please. Oh, perfect match. Well, this one is completely down to your memory skills. I do have one tip though. You are 3 times more likely to remember an image if you see it in the correct orientation. That means if you see it face on. So if you're stood sideways and looking at the side screens, you are less likely to remember everything on the ground. So make your way to the back of the course and look at the center screen. I don't know how this works, but science has proven that it does work. So take advantage of it. And of course, one of the greatest tips when you forget where everything is, run towards the biggest pile of people, and hopefully they were paying attention and they got it right. And now you got it right. Whoopoo! Next stage, Hexagon, the final round which triggers so many people. For this one, I'll break down 2 tactics, one for ultra aggressive players like me, and one for those who want to stay out of danger and slowly but surely win the game. Let's go with the passive style first. This technique, again it's simple and involves breaking the tiles as slowly as possible, jumping 1 tile at a time carefully. Don't get me wrong, I think this is a key strat, but I personally don't like it, as if you mess up once in the late game, this can happen. RIP. That's because people are below you making holes below you. Personally, I prefer to play ultra aggressive. My theory is simple. I pressure other people into making mistakes. I run towards them like a game of chicken, and if they don't move, I deliberately cut off their path wherever possible. I only go defensive when I have a clear advantage of height or there are only limited tiles remaining. This won't guarantee you a win, but playing aggressively moves the game forward quicker and shortens the wait. And you'll be surprised how many people don't play well under pressure. Oh, in fact, there is one more thing I see people miss often, and it's simply looking at the layer below them and knowing when there's a right time to fall. I know this sounds backwards, but if you're following a line of tiles which have nothing underneath, you're putting off the inevitable. You're going to drop into the pink stuff. So my advice is to be aggressive, look at where the best places to drop are, and switch to slow jumping to guarantee the final win. Good luck. You're gonna need it. Our next game mode, please. Block Party. Another super simple game which attempts to push us off a platform, and it's relatively easy to get an advantage here. Right now, where do you stand when playing Block Party? Is it in the middle? Is it near the back? I have a suggestion for you. The two main issues to be aware of in this mode are the amount of players around you, which impacts your movement, and the second point is how much time you have to react to the blocks coming forward. To rectify both these issues, I currently stand here and look off the edge of the platform. Usually I'm quite secluded, maybe there's a couple more players here, but the main reason we're doing this is to get a view over the pink lava to see the exact moment the shapes rise up. By doing this, we maximize the amount of time we have to react, getting into the right position before many players have even seen the shapes they need to avoid. It may only be a second of time, but that second will make the game far easier. Well, until the last part, that remains a complete cluster truck. Okay, one more mini game, let's do this. It's Royal Fumble. Another end game which can frustrate players massively. Usually the game mode sees 5 players battling to hold on to one single tail in the final second. The tips for this one aren't going to make you win every game, but hopefully this will open your mind to a tactical approach. First off, if you start with the tail, hide. This can be as simple as staying still. The other players can waste up to 1 minute of time finding you and are actually attracted to movement. So staying still in the game if you start with the tail and all alone is actually a masterstroke. And remember, they can't tell you have the tail if you're face on. But when the shizzle hits the fan, and it definitely will, the biggest thing to note is this. Chasing the person is not a great idea. I know, that is absolute madness, isn't it? But hear me out. The runners and the chasers all run at the exact same speed, which means if the person with the tail is a skilled runner, you will never catch them by chasing them. The best thing you can do is learn the map and figure out what most people do when chased. By doing this, when you have the tail, you'll be able to run to places safely and keep that tail, but most importantly, the person with the tail will actually bring you that tail if you sit in ambush and let the others do the chasing. Thinking smart on Royal Fumble is the difference between a lucky win and a well-timed attack for victory. So there we have it, 8 mini games in Fall Guys broken down to give you the edge. Let me know your thoughts on this series and if you'd like another episode looking at different mini games. If you have any tips, throw them below, I'll be sure to give you a heart. Thanks for watching this, I'm Adam from PlayStation Grenade, and I'll see you in the final. Thanks for watching, see ya!
Yeah.